Back in June 2024, I spent 2 weeks driving around the USA, visiting 13 amusement parks and riding over 120 roller coasters. Our route took us from Boston Airport in a loop, up through New York State to the Great Lakes, west to Wisconsin and back down through Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania and back to Boston to complete the loop. Revisiting old friends and meeting new ones. Coming up in this video, which is day one of the trip, I'll take you through how I planned the trip, our flight to Boston, picking up the car hire and visiting our first amusement park of the trip. Hey, this is Stu for Out and Back Travel. Over this series of videos, I'm going to share with you our summer road trip with the hope that it can help you in some way or inspires you to put your own road trip together. So this road trip started back in Black Friday of 2023. My first purchase, I don't recommend this, was actually theme park tickets, and this was to Mount Olympus theme park. Their tickets in the Black Friday sale were $5 plus tax, so for $21.35 or £17.13, which worked out at £4.20 each, we had some comically low priced tickets to visit a theme park in Wisconsin, but now we needed to get there from the UK. Only a slightly small journey, yeah? As it was such a low price, it didn't matter so much if we ended up going there or not. But Cedar Point had announced Top Thrill 2, the reimagining of our favourite ride Top Thrill Dragster, so that was an incentive to visit too, and we all know how that turned out. When flying to the USA, the relatively shorter distance and high competition on the route makes the East Coast some of the best value airports to fly to if you're looking for a bargain flight. We'd honed in on Boston as a start and end point for our road trip due to the combination of a low priced flight and relatively affordable car rental. Virgin Holidays were offering a flight and car package, or what they call a fly drive package, for £599 per person, which included not just the flight and the car but some nice extras like 22 kilograms of checked luggage, free seat selection on the flight. This was actually done through Virgin Atlantic's loyalty scheme, the Flying Club, which is free for anyone to join. A Hertz Go package with the car rental, which included unlimited mileage, loss, collision and personal damage waivers, 24/7 breakdown and accident assistance, 4 additional drivers for free, which is a big saving on a car rental cost, which is a fee which is usually charged per day, so it can really add up over the cost of a week or two. It's always a good idea to opt for additional drivers so you can substitute in another person if someone becomes tired and just share that burden of driving. So to have all that included in the price meant this was a really great value offer. A slight bit of faff booking the fly drive package through Virgin Holidays is that technically their airlines and holiday company are separate companies, so we had to log in separately to arrange parts of the holiday. For example, to select the seats on the flights, to request a vegetarian meal for the flight, and to provide our pre-flight security information. The Virgin Holidays booking portal clearly gave login codes for these elements, but it was slightly fiddly to experience as a customer. This is the joys of being your own travel agent and doing it yourself and saving a bit of money after all. Our outgoing flight from London Heathrow to Boston Logan was with Delta Airlines. I absolutely loved the attentive service and of course the full-size soda cans. Oh my god. You also got free Wi-Fi on the plane for social media, which is great as that's obviously usually an upcharge. It was a shame in some ways that the flight was so quick, and in 6.5 hours we were back in the good old USA. From the plane landing to getting through customs and border control and to the baggage claim took less than half an hour, thanks to the relatively modest size of this international airport. The car rental centre at Boston Airport is in one building and is reached by a complimentary shuttle bus that can drop you off at the hall, which has all the counters for all the different rental companies. I don't understand why in 2024 we have to queue for an eternity to enter all of our details again with the agents at a car rental desk, especially when a lot of the information has been pre-entered online before arrival. Of course, with any car rental pickup experience, you're going to be hammered by a never-ending gauntlet of add-on sales, which is how they make their money. It's good to know what's included, either through a package or buying it via a third party in terms of insurance, liability and breakdown. One upsell you will likely need for a USA road trip is a toll road transponder. Back in the olden days, and I'm only talking 2018 for my last road trip, the American toll roads worked by driving up to a booth and paying a Cuban with cash money to use that stretch of highway. In 2024, the toll booths have largely been replaced by electronic gates that you simply drive through, so there's no option to stop and pay cash. So you need a transponder tag on the car windscreen, or the car's registered owner will get a bill in the mail, which the car rental company, as the registered owner of the vehicle, will delight in charging an additional fee to process these transactions. On our trip, Hertz in Boston Airport were offering two options: a pay-as-you-go option to open the transponder each time you pass through a toll gate and pay a $9.99 usage fee plus the toll, or an all-inclusive option which was $14.99 per day, where you just let the transponder tag open for the entirety of the rental and drive through as many toll gates as you like. This is the option we went for, just to take the stress out of having to deal with additional admin charges. It meant we could kind of drive freely through as many tolls as we wanted. As we're going quite a long journey for a lot of different states, this made the most sense. This is obviously a lovely cash grab for the car rental companies, but in the tourist-focused Orlando, there is a visitor toll pass scheme, which is a temporary transponder specifically designed for tourists, which is a bit more affordable. So hopefully in time, a tourist pass to the rest of the USA will become available in the future. In the meantime, make sure you're budgeting to add this cost on to any road trip plans, as it's a sting they're going to get you with, unfortunately. When picking up your rental car, always do a 360-degree video and take photos all around the car so that you have evidence of any pre-existing damage to the car. The car we'd initially been offered had damaged tyres, which was not great for a 3,000 plus mile road trip, so after much more faffing we were changed to another car and on our way. Leaving Boston Airport, you have to drive through a network of tunnels to get across the river and out of the city. It can be a little stressful, so we had a pre-check of the route before setting off so we could work out the correct direction we should be heading. Even with rental car pickup faff and traffic congestion, we were still able to make a bonus stop off at Six Flags New England en route to our first hotel. When you're planning a road trip, it's important not to schedule so much for the first day, as there's all kinds of delays that could happen that could basically end up kiboshing your plans. You could be delayed getting through customs, the flight could be delayed, you could be delayed in picking up the car hire. There's all these time sucks that can come into play, so it's always best to have a very flexible plan for that first and last day. Six Flags New England nicely broke up the drive to our first hotel. At just under 100 miles, it took us around 2 hours to get to the park. We were able to snag the last 2 hours before the park closed at 7 PM. When we arrived at Six Flags New England, the park was absolutely bursting with school trips. There were so many kids everywhere. The queue for Batman was coming out of its gates, and the queue for Joker was sometime in the next 3 to 5 business days. But we were lucked out. Wicked Cyclone, the park's RMC coaster, was actually walk-on, so we were able to get a few cheeky laps in here without having to wait. We also did Thunderbolt, the park's classic wooden coaster, which is only running one train and could be a bit of a faff, so we'd like to get that one out of the way. Then, luckily, approximately 10 minutes before the park was due to close, we were able to jump in the line for Superman the Ride, the famous Intamin hypercoaster, which again was a walk-on, so we were able to get a second go before the park closed. The best ride of the day, and possibly the scariest ride of the whole trip, was the parking tram. It was actually crazy.
You enjoyed your stay with us? We do have one more ride, the Runaway Tram. Thank you for spending your time with us at Six Flags New England.
After we left Six Flags New England, we made the 2-hour and 10-minute drive to our first hotel in Queensbury. I really enjoyed that this hotel's address was on Big Boom Road. I had to give the address lots of times for custom and with the airline information. It's an awesome name for a road. Six Flags Great Escape is set in a stunningly beautiful area of Lake George, which is very popular with tourists enjoying the scenic beauty of the area. So that means the hotel rates in this location are comparatively high. So to save money, we stayed in the hotel, which was literally the cheapest available. And of course, you get what you pay for. So the hotel was terrible. It was crumbling in the worst way, but it was just a place to rest our heads for a couple of hours. And in the morning, it was only a 10-minute drive to the park, so really good location. The rooms weren't clean at all, although in contrast, the lampshades were sealed for freshness. I don't know why that was. And another funny contrast was the hotel had a Tesla charger, such a futuristic feature despite it being so old it's literally crumbling down. In the morning, there was a quick 10-minute drive to get to the Great Escape, which is our first proper stop on the trip and will be coming up in the next episode. We visit this odd Six Flags park, clearly once a charming fairy tale forest, which has had teenager thrill rides and ceremoniously plopped in. Will the park win us over with its charm and the excitement of free pussy?
Accommodations will have to be made for our pussy.
If you've got this far, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you have any road trip planning questions, please leave them in the comments below. And until next time, stay safe on the way out and back.